Some hours after my consultation with Ms. Ransamy, Mr. Perumal and Mr. Apesu, Mr. Perumal called me. You could see he was pressured, or you could hear, because he spoke as fast as I do. And he said to me, I've submitted your A1s to the auntie, he said. I said, who's the auntie? He said, the ID. I said, okay. He says that the ID is not happy with the way we structured this thing. She wants it broke. She wants your case broken into 4, and she says we must add a little bit more meat. I said to him, when do you want to do it? He says, I'm flying out tomorrow. It was late. He said, but if you want to come to my hotel, I have a printer. I said to him, no, I've got a printer at my house. If you want to do it, otherwise we can fix the affidavit next week. He said, no, man, I'm under pressure. Mr. Perumal came to my house. He was in conversation with the advocate for a long time.
When you say the advocate, you're speaking about Advocate Johnson.
Advocate Johnson. I wasn't part of the conversation, but I could hear her speaking to her. She seemed very agitated. He seemed very nervous. This was commissioned at my house in Cape Town. However, it is different from the A1s that were signed in the office.
You mean the supplementary affidavits that were signed during the consultation?
During the consultation. As of now, Commissioners, I do not want to say anything that may jeopardize something that I have laid a criminal charge against. I would ask that we move off this topic. I am more than happy to speak to my attorney about it. And if indeed my assistance is sought, I'm happy to offer it.
No, Mr. Adams, part of what we are investigating is any impropriety that IDEC may have been involved in. And at face value, it appears that that's exactly what happened here. So we would want to get to the bottom of this, and you will have to answer any questions that relate to this aspect. And as Ms. Sigels-Ncube said earlier, the fact that you have laid criminal charges against IDEC should not affect that. That is asking questions and you having to respond to those questions.
Okay, if I have that understanding, thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mrs. Sigels-Ncube.
Thank you, Chair. You say that that Advocate Johnson and Mr. Perumal were in conversation. And what was he doing? Was he drafting while he was talking to her? How did the affidavits come about?
Yes, ma'am.
Did he come with it finalized and
no, ma'am. It was typed out at my house, printed at my house, signed at my house.
Okay. And this...
Sorry. You say in that session he was speaking to Advocate Johnson. How did you come to know
I
that it was?
recognize the voice of, even after hearing it here, it's the same voice.
Okay. So you recognize from her voice.
And he was calling her, and she was calling him. It went back and forth as they were typing. Okay. I personally, at the time, saw nothing wrong with it. The auntie wants the case broken into 4 because they're going to do it in sections. The auntie wants more information. And at the time, thinking nothing of it until things are mentioned and said here. If you just throw your mind back a little bit, Commissioner, that's the stage where I demand to come and testify.
Okay. Thank you.
It's not that Mr. or Chief Perumal's phone was on speaker. It's just that it does happen with cell phones that if the person's phone volume is high, you can hear even if it's not on speaker.
No, the phone, I can confirm the phone is not on speaker, but I couldn't hear the conversation, but words come out.
Yeah, okay. So the volume was high enough for you to hear the voice?
Yes, I was sitting on his left-hand side. He was the one in front of the computer.
Okay.
So I'm not a voice specialist or analyst, but my belief is that he was speaking to Andrew Johnson.
All right, thank you.
Can I just ask a question? There's a preamble which accompanies this A1 statement, and it's dated 6 January 2025. And you signed it. When did you sign it?
No. I flew up to Joburg to sign the preamble, sir.
Was it on the 6th or on a different
No,
date?
it couldn't have been on the 6th.
It couldn't have been on the 6th?
Couldn't have been on the 6th.
So why did you put the date of the 6th on that document?
Was the date on at the time when I signed it?
Yes.
Now, if I can have a look at that, please.
Can you put it up in file 3680, IDEC file?
There's one,
Is it also in
there's
file
also,
9?
yeah, there's 3481.
3481.
3481. Oh, no, it's fine.
Eight-one.
3481.
Yes.
Yes.
Ms. Adams, look at 3481, please.
Yes, sir, I see this.
Is that your sorry?
That
You
is
said
my
you signed
signature.
it on the next page. 3482, sorry.
3482.
Yeah.
That is,
That is your
that's my
signature.
scribble, but the date is not my handwriting, and I would not have allowed this.
So you did not put that date
I think
there
this
of
date
6
was put in
January.
retrospectively.
So when you signed it, it did not have a date.
I don't think it had a date, sir. I think I mentioned it earlier, that when I went up and I told him I'll come to Pretoria, I was running late, and I called Mr. Perumal, and I said to him, can you meet me in the parking? I need to go. And it came down. It was just, I just read through it and I signed it.
And is it not possible that the affidavits Ms. Ngube was taking you through, you also signed them on the date that you signed this preamble?
No.
And for me, I want to leave the issue of the affidavit to Ms. Ngube, but why did you not tell the ad hoc committee this? You knew the ad hoc committee was probing Advocate Johnson on the very issues we are discussing, the referrals, the charges against General Khumalo and others. And she was being asked about the Section 27 referrals. You were there. You know that committee members even asked for these documents. So why did you not mention it to the ad hoc committee? Because you were there as a committee member, but you were also called as a witness to testify on these very issues. And then in your statement to this commission, you have a section where you set out the headings that you're going to be dealing with. And the subheadings specifically refer to the issue of the affidavits that you signed and you deposed to. Why do you not mention this late night call and this late night affidavits and the commissioning of affidavits at your house? Because you must have heard Ms. Ramsemi's evidence, and parts of her evidence upset you so much that you gave media interviews on them. And your first shot at her in this commission was to criticize her for calling herself an advocate when she was not an advocate. So you knew about these issues. And I know I've said a lot, so my two questions are this. Why did you not mention this to the ad hoc committee? And why did you not mention them in your evidence in chief?
If I may, in the ad hoc committee, there was never a mention of more than one Section 27. It was only said that she had classified it, which I thought was a bit iffy, but I didn't make much of it. And they didn't really go into the statements. And again,
Ms. Adams, I'm talking about the conduct of IDEC.
yes.
If you were at the ad hoc committee and you know that the conduct of IDEC was improper in the sense that after you had deposed to affidavits, somebody came to your house late at night, had a call with Advocate Johnson, and they wanted your affidavits to be changed. That's the part that I say, why did you not mention it at the IDEC? The conduct of IDEC.
I will tell you, Commissioner, for me, the conduct of IDAC now, if I look at it,
No,
with
not
what
now.
I know, I'll go back to there.
Please pause there. That night, when Mr. Perumal came to your house without his two co-investigators, and he said to you, the madam or the advocate does not like the affidavits you have prepared. They want to give you different ones. They come to your house, and you do that. Did you at the time think that was proper?
I didn't think it was normal, but I didn't think it was out. I wouldn't say, I didn't think there was anything excellently wrong with it.
So
But
my question is, why did you not bring that conduct to the ad hoc committee's attention? When you know that the very issues the ad hoc committee was investigating is the conduct of IDEC in relation to these cases.
I will be honest with you, Commissioner. I need IDAC to succeed. I needed these cases before the court.
So you were willing to do anything to help IDEC succeed, however improper their conduct?
Not anything, Commissioner, but there are things that I was willing to almost close my eyes to get the end result.
Let's leave ad hoc. Before this committee now, before this commission, you have subheadings where you're saying, I'm going to deal with the issue of the affidavits and some of the things that Advocate Ramsemi has said. Why do you not mention that Perumal came to your house, and while he was at your house, he was speaking to Advocate Johnson, and in that discussion, they wanted your affidavits to be changed? Why did you not mention that?
At that time, Commissioner, I had not yet seen these, and I had laid the case against Perumal and IDAC.
Mr. Adams, you don't have to see these things to know what happened. I mean, you've given us detail about how you went to the minister, how documents came under your door, how you did a Section 27. Why do you not mention that there was something that happened on the 8th, or on the 6th of January 2025 rather? And now that I think about it, I didn't think about it then, but now that I think about it, it was unusual because after I had prepared A1 affidavits, they came to my house late at night and they said the affidavits have to be changed. Why did you not mention that?
Commissioner, to me, it was a case of we're going to do the affidavit better, we're going to break it into 4 pieces, and that was it. It was only after what I saw here, and I laid a charge, and the reason I don't address it in my affidavit was because I wasn't going to comment on the issue because it's under investigation until Commissioner Madlanga cleared it up for me that no, we're going to speak about this.
You know, Commissioner Baloy used the word and she said machinations. That's what it's starting to look like now. That somehow you were part of a scheme at all costs to bolster these cases, even when you knew that they were not strong. And you would do anything to assist in that regard, even when you could see that whatever was going on, if not improper, then it was suspicious.
Commissioner, for me, when I said that we can do it next week, I was told, no, man, it has to be today. I said, okay, let's just do it. Let's get it done. So I do say that that's not regular, even for me, who works late hours. But as far as this case these cases are concerned, I was willing to play whatever part I need to. And I'm not saying that I'm playing for IDAC or I was playing for IDAC. If I was, I would shut up right here. I'm telling you these events as they happen. Thank you.
I'm not a handwriting expert, but I just want to understand some matter of detail. Can you please go to the preamble at page 3477?
3477.
Yes, please.
Oh,
Are you there?
yes, Commissioner?
Okay, I'll be with you just now. Uh, 3477, I'm sorry.
Yes, Commissioner?
Yeah. The corrected one.
I'm not with you, Commissioner.
There's a preamble, it comes,
Is that what I'm looking for?
It won't help you with the signature, but yes.
Yes, I'm there.
is that the correct one?
No, the one that has A1 and 2 in brackets.
Yeah, A1 and then bracket 2
Yes.
at the top
Okay.
in manuscript. Do you have that?
3476. 3476.
Yes.
Do you have it now?
I have it, Commissioner.
Yes. Now, I think you've owned that signature, and that's the one where you say, when you were in Johannesburg, you said,
Yes, sir.
this was brought to you and you
Yes,
met, and you signed. What I've noticed with the signatures on the preambles, if, for example, we were to think in terms of angles as in mathematics, that part of your signature that comes down, do you see it? In this signature, on this preamble, it's slanting to the left. So if we're talking an angle, it would be an obtuse angle, slanting to the left like that. And let's go to page 3481. There as well, you see that slanting to the left, which would again be something like an obtuse angle if you look at it in conjunction with a dotted line at the bottom. You see that?
I see that.
Yeah. Okay, now let's look at the signatures on the affidavits themselves. Let's look at 3476. Do you see, are you at 3476?
Yes, I am, Commissioner.
Do you see that that line is slanting to the
Yes,
right?
Commissioner.
If it was an angle, it would be an acute angle now. And let's go to 3480. There as well, same thing, slanting to the right. And then we go to 3484. Same thing, also slanting to the right. I know that when you sign, like if I were to sign now, even if I were to sign immediately after having signed, I sign my signature, and immediately within seconds I sign. Those may not look exactly the same, I know that. But what strikes me is that with all the preambles I've referred you to, we see what approximates an obtuse angle. With all the affidavits, we see what approximates an acute angle. Can you explain that?
Yes,
please?
Commissioner, I can.
Yes.
I signed that while I'm sitting in the car. They brought the paperwork down. It was a case of this. That's why I can tell you the signature is mine. The date is not accurate. I can tell you that without a shadow of a doubt. It couldn't have been that date. But they brought it to the car for me. I signed off and I drove off.
And how were you holding the document?
In my
as
left
you
hand.
signed?
In my left hand, signing with my right hand. That is why even for my scribble, that is terrible.
But the paper was not slanting, it was...
Commissioner, I
straight
wouldn't
in
be able
front
to
of
tell you
you.
which way I was leaning, but I do remember I was holding it in my left hand and signing on it. And that is why, if you look at my signature, I don't have a pretty signature, and that is even slightly uglier. So that's the reason for that.
Okay.
So I will own the signature. It's mine. The date, that does not belong to me.
Yeah, I just had to raise that because there are lots of issues around these documents.
No, I
and
understand,
therefore, if I notice something that's off with the signatures, I just had to engage you on it.
I understand, Commissioner.
All right, thank you.
I just take you back to these affidavits that you, and this conversation with Mr. Perumal, that Advocate Johnson wanted that the topics or the complaints to be broken up into 4 parts. You've already at that point given the team of 3, Perumal, Ramsamy, and Mr. Rapesu, you've already given them 4 different separate affidavits.
Yes, ma'am.
What does Mr. Perumal say to you now you're supposed to do? Why are you now required to do 4 separate, to deal with what now? Because you have 4 separate affidavits already.
Yes. So I gave them 4 separate affidavits, and my understanding was that she wanted it done another way because she wanted to break it into separate cases. I don't know if it was 4 or 6 matters. So that was my understanding of the situation, of which I was willing to comply. I was willing to comply.
Yeah, what I'm trying to understand is you already have 4 separate cases, remember? And that's what those affidavits that you gave earlier in the day to the 3 of them, the supplementary affidavits, they deal with 4 different cases.
Yes, ma'am.
What was explained to you is going to be the difference in the content, because it must have had something to do with the content. He must have said to you, now we need to exclude this for reason A, B, C, D, or we need to include that for reason A, B, C, D, for his approach to you
Yes,
to make sense. What does he say to you? Is
My
the
understanding
problem
with the
content?
affidavits that I gave them was that it was going to be 3 cases,
Even though you gave him 4?
even though I gave him 4.
Okay.
That was my understanding. He then said to me that, no, the auntie wants it in 4, which I didn't argue with because she's the senior prosecutor.
Yes.
So he said to me, the auntie also wants a little bit more meat to the cases. And this is where we sat down, and this is where we started writing.
Yes. And do remind me, because I've closed the pages here, do any one of the ones that Mr. Perumal takes from you in the evening, do they deal with your allegations about the PKTT?
You just see?
I see that the one speaks about General Tele and General Khumalo. If you look at the one at 3475,
3-4.
75,
Thank you, ma'am.
that deals in paragraph 2. It says something about General Masemula and Tele and General Khumalo. And then in the next paragraph, it talks about top secret clearance for many years. That's the one. And then the second one at 3479 speaks to General Madondo and the documents that you found under your door.
Which page are we at now?
Sorry
Commissioner?
about that.
I'm sorry, I just lost track now.
3479.
3479?
You'll see in paragraph 2, it deals with General Madondo.
Yes, ma'am.
And the documents that you found. And then if you go to 3483,
Oh, 3, fine.
it deals with Brigadier Mukwele's appointment.
Yes, ma'am.
I think there was an earlier one. Ms. Nobet, do you want to remind me?
The 3. We only
Three,
have the
four?
3. We only have the 3.
Okay, so we have these 3. None of them speak to the PKTT matter that you've covered in an earlier affidavit.
And the
None
forklift.
of them speaks to the forklift, as far as I can see, that you had dealt with earlier.
There was a fourth one relating to the forklift. And when I questioned Chief Perumal about the PKTT,
Yes.
he said that will come at a later stage.
Did he explain why? I mean, it's an important topic to you at the time.
It's very important to me, and still is. But at a later stage, I didn't like it, but I'm not going to argue as long as it comes.
He said, you say that he said the auntie
The auntie wants
it to be
4
done
dockets.
this way.
This is what he's been sent to come.
Okay, thank you.
I must say, Mr. Adams, and this is my last point on this, what you've just told us about these supplementary affidavits, the A1s, and how they came about, makes me doubt what you said earlier about your Section 27 referral, because it now makes me suspect that at a later point, you were handed a document which is a new 27, and you signed it at a later point, because that would be consistent with what happened with these A1s.
If I may,
Yes.
Commissioner Khumalo, this happened on the same night. That Section 27 is the only one I signed.
I understand that part. I'm talking about affidavits having been prepared before, and then late at night or whenever somebody comes back to you and says, we need to add this, we need to take this out, we need to do this, sign new affidavits. That is consistent with you having prepared a Section 27 referral, and then at a later point, somebody coming to you and say, we no longer want PKTT or forklift in this, let's take them out, sign a new Section 27 referral. Because if that is your signature in the document that we looked at, it does not explain why it does not look like the original that you say you submitted. And the only logical explanation is that at a later point, you were presented with a different document and you signed that document.
No, Commissioner Khumalo.
Because we're going to live here not knowing how your signature ends up in this document that starts on page 5112 of file 2, because your signature is there, and we don't know how it ends up there. And we're going to live today not knowing that. And that's my parting shot on this.
Commissioner, I'm only answering you as I can. For instance, if I may, that, did I forget it again? The introduction
Preamble.
The preamble. The easiest thing in the world would have been to deny the signature on the preamble. I'm telling you as fact, it's mine. As I'm telling you with the section 27, I did not do two. And when I heard there was a second one, I was confused. And now when I look at what Mr. Nsame is saying, and I'm going back into what's left of my memory bank, I'm leaning towards her. And that's not a situation, that's not even a place I want to be. I'm answering it to you as you asked me the question. And as far as the section 27 is concerned, whoever did whatever, they must come and explain it to you.
Sorry, Mr. Gazumove. If you've already testified on this, please forgive me. What time in the evening did Chief Perumal contact you for this second set of statements to be made?
Commissioner Madlanga, the time, it was late. I can't be very specific.
How late? How late?
It was definitely after 9.
After 9.
Yeah,
That's when he contacts you.
That's when he asked if he can come quickly.
Yeah. So he goes to your place around 9, and you sat together until roughly about what time? When the
he still had
affidavits,
coffee afterwards.
sorry, when the affidavits had now been commissioned, roughly about what time do you think it was?
He had a cup of coffee afterwards, and he left around about 11:30 to 12. I didn't check, but it would have been late because we sat a while.
Okay.
Because he was taking instruction and he was phoning, and it was a back and forth.
3 people had traveled from Gauteng to Cape Town to consult with you and to take your statements, and now only one of them contacts you that late in the evening at 9, and he goes to your place all by himself and is with you until 11 or even after 11. Were you not suspicious about this conduct?
Not at the time, Commissioner. I'm speaking to an officer of the law. On the phone, he's got an officer of the court. I'm comfortable.